We're not seeing that tonight, really, are we, Alan?
No, he's let himself down. He's had chances, as we'll see. And you know, the first frame, he let Ronnie off the hook. You've got to win the frame in that position at club level, never mind this level. And yeah, he'll be disappointed.
Yeah, and I think because of all the stats that you pointed out, the fact that he's scratching around trying to win a frame against O'Sullivan this season, you know, to have lost 5-0, 4-0, the first frame when he was in front, losing that frame was a crushing blow. And he had the frame won, and Alan's right. You know, he played a bad shot, and he's never really recovered from it in the whole session.
Part of the thing is when you go out and play O'Sullivan, you want to do yourself justice because you don't get that many chances. There's the red there, Neil, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, what happened was there. It's a bit of a slow cushion, but also he hit it slow, so it makes it even worse. Now this black, you don't really fancy him. He wants to be straighter. The red's kind of not really in the way, but it's on his mind, and he's on the walk here early. He knows he's missed it, and he's 38 in front, but this shot that Ronnie played here, the first shot, I thought he played it really nicely. It's not his shot to pot single balls. He's leaving the red to the left middle. He loses a frame for sure if it doesn't go in. It went in and he dished. Yeah,
it was a tough shot, floated it in, and then he started taking control. Joe mentioned again in comms that he gets into winning positions so quickly. He plays that red, little screw black into the cluster, lands decent on one, and 100 later he was off here.
Century 938 there with that, and you know, I mean, I don't think he's played particularly well. I mean, he's done well all round. His all-round game's been good, but he's not been devastating in the scoring. But he's just picking up all the vibes. He knows that Dottie's not won a frame against him, and he don't want to let him start winning frames.
Yeah, again here he's got left a kind of half chance to floated a red in, floated that blue in, and he's on the red that gets him in position. And nice black here screwing into the pack, pushes a few into open play.
Yeah.
But Graham's got to play the pot here, hasn't he?
It's dead straight, as we saw, right? But if you play this at pace, there's every chance that you're not going to follow it through, because if you hit that firmly, it usually will swing off unless your cueing is absolutely ramrod straight, you know, which invariably it's not.
Yeah, we talk about his break building, but look at this save. See the red on the right-hand side of the table here? I think Ronnie's deliberately covered that. He's putting Graham in the mire. He's done it all night, and Graham was sort of competing, as Joe said again, but wasn't getting anywhere.
Well, he might as well said to Graham, look, pull up a chair just to the right of that black and play all his shots from there, because that's where you're going to be playing the lot from. So we know that Ronnie's not quite, you know, he's not quite doing it like he can, but he's just not giving Graham any chances. He's almost playing a bit Selby-esque, isn't it, there?
He's mixing and matching, that's what he can do, and he's happy doing it as well, which is the worrying thing.
And we've seen Graham, you talked about him not going to watch Ronnie play, he's going to keep himself focused in his chair. It's not really helping. No.
Well, to be fair, you have to go out with a game plan. You know, you can't just go out and sort of admire. You've got to, you know, get in your own bubble, and he's tried that. But the first frame, he let himself down, and he'll know that.
Yeah,
you know.
And that was the key. I think the first frame was a very decisive moment. He's not lost yet, but he's in a lot of trouble.
Any way back for him?
No, not for me.
No.
Well,
Dott's modest ambition will be to avoid the whitewash. O'Sullivan has administered 2 on him this season. 5-0 in the China Championship.
Thank you.
Where Dott totalled only about 30 points. And 4-0 in the Welsh Open, where 2 of the frames were close. O'Sullivan breaking off right-handed, abandoning his long-held practice of breaking off left-handed. The theory was that O'Sullivan could get more right-hand side on the cue ball playing left-handed, and he could right, but anyway, he switched back to right.
This is where O'Sullivan's been exceptional tonight. Look at where the brown is. I expect the cue ball to be within a few inches of it when it comes to rest here. Yeah, he caught the red just a hair thick, but he's seen the idea. Even though he almost butchered it for him, he still nearly got it.
Foul. Front of O'Sullivan, full.
Well, the in-off in the middle was his own fault.
Foul.
Leaving the red was unfortunate.
One.
So O'Sullivan straight in round the black spot. Shall we give him this frame, Alan?
Yeah. A lot of people
No.
would forgive you if you did. Just thinking actually that I think the fact that Ronnie doesn't play in all the tournaments in the circuit, I think it actually helps him.
16.
Yeah, have a week off here and there, and a few weeks at a time he doesn't play.
17.
I just think it helps him mentally as much as anything. I think he looks fresher all the time.
Yes, didn't play in Gibraltar, didn't play in Romania. O'Sullivan hasn't lost many matches this season, but of those that he
24.
has lost, most of them have been where there's been an element of mental fatigue to cope with. That's the only downside
25.
of winning a lot of matches.
$32. $33. $38.
Yeah, back for pink or blue. You know, I'm surprised he's playing. Yeah. I would expect him to come back for pink or blue here. A straight pink, got nothing to do with position. He's seen it now, so he's playing for pink. Thought for a second he was going to play the
39.
wrong shot there.
Well, that would have been an event.
Yeah, as I say, straight pink clears that area. Pink onto the brown spot. Easy red to follow.
O'Sullivan is a great player in all circumstances, but when he gets a few frames in front, he's well nigh unstoppable.
45. 46.
I mean, even that shot, he's played. That was poker straight. If you're going to screw back there, and I mean, said you can have the cue ball wherever you like with your hand. That's exactly where he'd have put it. All right, that's not come out for him. Looks like being in the
51.
break, but made 55 in less than 4 minutes. He just takes frames and matches away from his opponents so quickly. It's not just that he's that good, he's that quick at doing it. And again, just keeping Graham nice and familiar
Right,
with that
Sullivan.
ball cushion.
51.
Good safety from Dott, who played O'Sullivan in the 2004 World Championship final at the Crucible. Best of 35 it was. Dott led 5-0, And I asked him a few years later whether, when he was 5-0 in front, he could see himself as world champion, and he said, no, not at all. If it had been first to 6, maybe.
Yeah. Still a long way to go, wasn't there? Yeah, Ronnie, for once he got away with one there. Well, at least Graham spotted it. He's not in a colour, but how do you find a way back into the match from this position?
Well, you can only stick at it, do your best. No shortcuts.
Yes. Brown ball. Quendo point.
Oh, what a shot this is. What a shot.
Knew that he could only shave past the black to make the intended contact. Dott foiled by the middle pocket jaw there, attempting to get the cue ball behind the brown.
It's actually quite a nice shot. He's screwing it into cushions for the black, perhaps. Yeah, plain ball. It was a shot he'd always fancy, playing it plain ball. Gonna have to settle for second prize, so within 2 or 3 shots, Graham, from having Ronnie tight in behind the brown, finds himself tight in behind the yellow.
O'Sullivan has not only played very well, he's played very sensibly. No pushing the boat out with extravagant shot selections.
Foul. And a miss. 107-4.
This is relentless.
Foul. And a miss.
It's not just that 91% of O'Sullivan's safeties have prevented Dott from potting a ball. A good many of them have put him in deep trouble.
Foul. And a miss.
Well, Dott's had enough of science.
107-4.
Decided to trust to luck. To no avail.
Yeah, probably he's got Graham chasing shadows. That's exactly what's going on out there. I said at the interval, Graham be so disappointed not to win the first frame.
Closer to the cushion.
And since then, he's just been on the back foot. Every time he's come to the table, pretty much, he's been on this bulk cushion.
He did also have a chance to snatch the third frame from behind. So Dame Fortune did not come to his rescue there with that escape.
One. Six.
The cannon was unintended, but it's too late to make any difference.
Seven.
Not with the red hanging over the left corner anyway.
Thirteen.
Well, the idea was to develop the black. His cue went through with such power that it dislodged the chalk from his waistcoat pocket. He fails to develop the three reds.
20. Ronnie O'Sullivan 20 and a frame.
But Graham Dott has no realistic alternative to remaining in his chair and conceding the frame. O'Sullivan leads by 5 frames to 0.
Frame 6. Graham Dott to break.
Graham Dott's modest ambition remains to avoid the whitewash.
One.
Another crunching long red from O'Sullivan. He really does look in prime form, not just for this match, but the rest of the week.
Five. Six.
Yeah, just thinking. Probably the only player on the main tour that doesn't carry a mini butt. But when you play shots like that, you don't have to. That was a beauty again. All right, he's a wee bit lucky to get up for blue, but
11.
the execution of the shot again was just top class. And
12.
you feel like he's enjoying it out there. That's the thing about it, isn't it? You know, it's not that he's just playing well. He's enjoying the challenge, the puzzle of that each frame sort of, as it presents itself, he just figuring out the best way to go about break building.
19.
He looks hungry to play.
Yeah, checking out both reds was the best way of going about it. Just trying to figure out the puzzle all the time here.
25. 26.
Already be thinking, play for the loose red here, straight on it, play for the black, get an angle, land low on it, pot the red, bring the other reds into play. He's played for low on it. And he just come too straight, so it's a low black
31.
and screw into them.
32.
But he won't go full pace here. You want to bring the cue ball back towards him and onto the black cushion. And you see a kind of soft screw, unlucky. But played it well again, just seems to play every shot the correct way.
39. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Didn't have a pot
39.
on. So safety was the only option. But now with the pack of reds dispersed, you think that O'Sullivan's only got to get in once more and the match will be all over.
Yeah, he's itching to have a pop at something here, but the red that goes to right middle, just, you can't play that. You can't get safe. Just bide your time. Let's see, he'd probably missed this on the thin side. Shot to nothing. You see, he got it thin. Fully aware that he can't afford to hit it thick, and how's the result? Oh, I nearly got him again. It's just that decision making every shot. Safety shot to nothing he had there. Anything but thick.
I think Dott came here equipped to play well. It's only a few weeks since he reached the final of the German Masters, but he could have done with a different opponent tonight.
Yeah, using green and brown. No, sorry, the other side. Graham again, he's itching to have a go at some of them, but the way O'Sullivan's playing tonight, safety-wise, he's not leaving anything. Not even a shot to nothing. Again, this is a tough safety shot he's playing. Catch this absolutely perfect cue ball in between green and brown. Right. Slip past the other end of the brown, but he's using reds and green as blockers. Absolutely nailed again.
Perfect length, perfect direction.
Graham leaves the gap.
Jan Shears called into action to clean the cue ball.
I don't believe he's going to play this at full pace, just a medium pace. Yeah, you see it.
1.
Little cannon, and he knew he'd be on the black. Once again, brilliant execution.
Oh, the machine's broken
Ronnie
down.
O'Sullivan. 1.
Had to raise the butt of the cue to get the desired backspin, but he's been playing so well, you don't expect him to miss anything.
One. Eight. Nine.
A few months ago, Dott was in despair about his poor form, but Chris Henry,
60.
very fine coach, sorted him out.
17.
He discovered that Dott was just hitting the cue ball slightly to the right of centre instead of plumb in the centre. And after a lot of hard work and repetitious practice, Dott came back to form, and as I said, won some very good matches to reach the German Masters final
Only
a
3.
few weeks ago.
Yeah, and he won a match in that tournament, didn't he, against Zhao
30.
Guodong from 4-0 down. He won 5-4, but this is obviously different opposition this evening.
31.
Yeah, good choice, good aggressive shot, trying to push the
36.
red open.
Because he would have been on this one no matter what.
37.
How's his angle? Can he maybe play the same shot again? Just try and catch the pink foolish. No, he didn't play it. I think probably wisely. He pots this red. He's got quite a bit of control.
44. $45.
Decent angle on the black as well.
Unlucky.
52.
Needed to flick across the pink rather than strike it full.
Yeah, just looking at it again, he was never going to get an awful lot of pace into the cue ball, so had to trust to luck.
.12 in front, but deep in self-inflicted trouble. very good hit. Is it going to do him any good?
Dott, 52.
Well, red, pink and the colours that he would have needed in addition would have made O'Sullivan a 6-0 winner. But Dott's still in this frame, having got back into contention with that nicely compiled run of 52.
And here's a free ball.
Foul. And a miss. Graham, full. Free ball.
Free
Black
ball.
ball.
Can't hit both edges of the last red. Can nominate any colour as an extra red.
One. Six. Seven.
Just brown and yellow. Taken past the post.
11.
When O'Sullivan led 5-0 and 40-0, it looked odds on a whitewash. But O'Sullivan missed the
16.
black off the spot. Not an easy one the way he played it. Dott made
20.
52 from that. And after a scare when he snookered himself on the last red, he's done enough to get on the scoreboard.
Graham got 20.
Dott avoids the whitewash, but O'Sullivan still leads by 5 frames to 1.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to red.
Right-handed, but using the other side of the bunch to break off. Dott hangs his head in disappointment. Long half ball red, plain ball, didn't have to do much. Would pot those more often than he would miss them.
Don't know how many times Graham Dott's played a shot from the baulk cushion this evening, but it must be a lot.
There's been a fair bit of safety play actually, very high quality most of it, and that's one of the reasons why Neil Robertson and Luca Brissell have lapped this match in terms of frames. It's 5-2 to Robertson as I speak.
Cracking sound that for a player. They catch the leather of the pocket like that. Looks good, sounds good. It's not been not been the sort of shot either player's been knocking in tonight. It's not been a match like that. It's just been
6.
very hard match play snooker, but just all-round performance by O'Sullivan has been fabulous. He's not going to play for the black here, is he? I think if he can, he will play it, and he is playing it. Nice and straight, you'd
7.
fancy him getting it. Black spot completely free as well, so this is could develop into a very good chance for this black going.
O'Sullivan this week pursuing his 33rd world ranking title and also pursuing
14.
Stephen Hendry's record of 36. What a fabulous season O'Sullivan has had already.
$15. $22. $23.
He's always nice and fluent round the table, but I think tonight, as much as I've ever seen him before, he's studying every situation, every little positional shot. Busy round the table tonight, Ronnie.
30.
So just figuring out the puzzle, the best way to go about it.
31. $36. $37.
This looks like
44.
the coup de grace. I don't expect O'Sullivan to allow Dott back to the
45.
table. And the finish is also imminent on the other table, where Neil Robertson leads Luca Brissell 5-2 and is in play with a break of 93.
Yeah, I see, studying O'Sullivan. He's taking as long over this simple blue as any other shot he's probably played tonight. He just wants to make absolutely sure he plays the correct shot here. No, that's not good.
No, he missed the intended cannon.
Sliding the red onto the side cushion. No, well, that's what he's hoping to do. If he can play it.
So Neil Robertson has beaten Ronnie O'Sullivan to the finishing tape. A break of 107 has rounded off his 6-2 win over Luca Brissell on table 2. O'Sullivan trapped into a safety error. Dott comes to the table with a good chance, albeit 50 behind.
1. Eight. 9.
Yeah, one good thing about this situation for Graham, if there is one, he won't have any tension whatsoever in his body right now. Back to the wall, point of no return, virtually beaten already. His arm will feel loose as a goose out there.
I'm sure he wasn't even expecting a chance in this frame
16.
when O'Sullivan got in with 50.
17.
But O'Sullivan's loss of position has given Dott an unexpected chance.
$24.
Yes, they might just be able to push the other red a couple of inches into the table. No, he played it dead weight.
25.
Yeah, so you expect him to peel off these next three open reds.
But then he would have the problem of the red which is on the black cushion.
I think part of the modern game as well, these reds along the black cushion, you don't see many of them played these days. Players avoid them like the plague.
31.
It's always, you know, the fact that no one plays them anymore, it's difficult to tell how sharp the pockets are. I mean, we know they're sharp, but to what
32.
degree?
And the red we're talking about would have a long way to travel. Not as if it was within 6 to 9 inches of a corner pocket.
$39. $40.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to be nice and straight in this next red. Not a problem playing it with the rest. So he's guaranteed good position on a colour. So you'd expect him to get close to the red. This red behind the black spot, that is.
45.
Might not land nice on it, but you get close to it. Should be able to play a tell in safety. That's worst case scenario.
46.
You see it, nice angle in the brown. The one thing he doesn't want is to land straight on it. Ooh. Well,
50.
if you were going to say he's got to pot it, that's not a bad position, but this is a toughie. This will tell us a lot about the pockets this week.
No, never in.
Graham Dott. 50.
But at least he hasn't left a sitter for O'Sullivan.
Yeah, he didn't really get close to it, did he? Hence the reds come away. I think it's definitely thinner than it looks on screen, but you fancy him potting it. All about position.
Well, it turned out that it was easier than it first appeared. So after an exchange of 50 breaks, O'Sullivan should clinch his victory at this visit.
Nine.
Green, brown, blue needed.
Twelve. $16. 21.
A top-notch performance then from Ronnie O'Sullivan, highlighted by a break of 106 in the second frame.
27, the frame in the match.
Graham Dott
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
never gave up, but it's O'Sullivan who goes through the winner by 6 frames to 1.
And Ronnie O'Sullivan, well, he stormed to victory over Graham Dott 6-1. The results on table 1, and across on table 2, Neil Robertson saw off Luca Brissell by 6 frames to 2. So, Joe, Neil, when we knew if Ronnie was in form, he was going to make it tough for Graham Dott. I suppose if there's any consolation for Graham, it's the fact he took a frame off Ronnie, because it's something he hasn't been able to do in their previous 2 matches.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Graham, it was right at the end of the match he took the frame. You know, he had a great chance to win that first one, which is what he needed to sort of settle into the match, especially on the back of 2 whitewashes. But the way he lost that first frame sort of set a precedent for the rest of the match, really.
It was almost, you know, it was almost that Ronnie was a cat with his paw on the mouse's tail, teasing him through that match.
Yeah, he was a bit. And, you know, I think with Ronnie now, he's got a few players in the head. Now, I'm not really saying that Graham's anything but a brilliant player. He's been world champion. But at the moment, he's got a few players. He's got that sign over them where they don't really fancy beating him, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that applies to John Higgins, who's beaten him twice. But there's something about Ronnie's form, and he's kind of spellbinding, isn't he? And he sort of gets the other people into a bit of a... They're slightly mesmerised by what he is doing out there. That's why he tried to look away. Graham tried something new. It didn't work.
No, and of course we'll see Ronnie up against Ding in the quarter-final, a repeat of the final we saw up in Preston. If he is going to play John Higgins, if Higgins has a decent run, it'll be here in the final. You know, he's a player that will give him a match. Yeah,
definitely. And we saw a different side to Ronnie tonight. You know, we all know how good he can break build and how quickly he scores, but he absolutely frustrated Graham tonight with his safety. It was fantastic. You know, Graham played lots of good safety tonight, but just couldn't force an opening. Ronnie just matched him and beyond in every single department. Let's see how he beat him then, because it was a finely constructed win. He got off to a great start as well.
Yeah, we only put this shot in the first frame because he played it and he was 38 behind. Graham had missed a bad shot, and if he misses that shot, he loses the frame. But then he started knocking them in, Joe.
Yeah, this was a good shot. You know, on the first frame was a little bit scrappy for him. He pinched it, but then a good solid pot there, and went on to make a big century, and yeah, sort of put Graham under the cosh from then on, really.
Yeah, century 938. I mean, I think about this time next year, maybe here in Llandudno, he might make his 1000th century the way he's going. This was not an easy shot, but you just feel that he's just starting to get the upper hand in the match at this point, isn't he?
Yeah, he found his touch there, and he's just starting to, you know, he doesn't miss easy balls anyway, but you just don't want him getting in amongst the balls, do you, regularly? And Graham just, he tried hard, Graham. You know, he played lots of good safety, like I say, but he just could not force an opening. Ronnie just seemed to win every single safety battle, and then, you know, he just doesn't miss when he gets in.
Yeah, I mean, he is the master break builder, but, you know, I must admit, when I first saw him as a pro, age 16, you know, knocking everything in, I never really thought it was going to come down to him being a brilliant safety player, but he showed it tonight that as he got older, he can do all that.
Yeah, and I think what's changed more this season than others is he actually enjoys it now.
Yeah.
You know, he seems to take great pleasure out of frustrating his opponents. Not in a bad way, just he knows he can outscore them, but when he can outthink them and outplay them, I think that gives him a little bit of an extra buzz.
It's a very dangerous combination because he can knock those in as well as playing great safety. And, you know, most of the great safety players aren't always screwing in long reds. And I mean, even here, this is the point where Graham was getting frustrated because he's played every shot from down this end.
Yeah, you know, he could go back to his room and have a few splinters in his hand tonight. He's played off the wood so often, but it's just so frustrating. You know, Ronnie was so patient tonight. He didn't take on anything rash. And there you go. Graham's got a great temperament, but Ronnie just bamboozled him tonight.
It wouldn't have taken me that long to end up playing that shot. I'd have gone into the Reds about 200 mile an hour, about an hour before Graham did. And, yeah, he must have been frustrated about it. In fairness, Graham did well to come back. But interesting at the end there, he had a bit of a chat. What do you think that was about?
Yeah, I sort of read a little bit. I think he was, once again, making out that this back cushion is just a little bit on the slow side. Just caused him to have a few maybe safeties a little bit short, but I can't think what else it would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was probably just, as you were saying, talking about the table, but also maybe Graham was saying, well, I did manage to get that one free.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, as I say, Ronnie has got a lot of players in the head at the moment, and that snooker, it's been like that. I mean, when Davis was the best player in the world, most of the people he played were beat before they start, and Stephen Hendry was the same. Now, obviously, as I say, there are players that Ronnie's not quite in that position at, but he's so impressive at the moment. You know, he could win this tournament. And, of course, as you say, he's playing Ding Junhui, and he beat him 10-3 in Preston in the final.
Looking at how we've seen Ronnie play over the course of the last few months, how good was he tonight?
Yeah, he was a different kind of Ronnie tonight. You know, it wasn't the flamboyant break building. He went about his job differently tonight. You know, his safety was just immaculate, and it's just so hard to beat him. It just goes to show, even if he's not knocking the big breaks in, you've still got to work so hard to get a chance against him.
Yeah, he's plenty of tools in his toolkit.
He's got everything. He's got everything, and when it's all working, he's a very formidable player.
Well, he is in his prime, and you wonder, at the age of 42, how long he'll go on. Well, the oldest